Me and Fooch up tonight, and we got a big night. Me and Fooch are tickled to death for the guys that just finished Bud's training today. All kinds of good stuff going on. I see a lot of you guys chatting up here already about me cussing so much. You have no idea, because I tame it up on this thing a lot. But coming down here for the courses, man, it's just a yeah, you guys will go home learning some new things. When I graduated Buds, I reported to SEAL Team 1, and I hadn't been in Team 1 very long, and I went home on Christmas leave. And while I was there, my dad told me, I lived in Easton, Maryland, the goose hunting capital of the world. And my dad told me, he goes, I got a friend of mine, and his son will take you hunting if you tell him about SEAL Team. He's real interested in going. And, I was always a big hunter, home on leave. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So, dark 30, I meet this young guy out. And we pack the field full of decoys, and we get in this sunken blind. And he is a master of the goose call. And we burnt their asses up that day. And I just told him, all about Buds, all about SEAL Team, whatever he wanted to know. And a while later, a year or so later, I'm walking around the Team 1 compound, and here comes this guy running up in his Buds fatigues, and he's wearing a red third phase helmet. And it's him. It's him, the guy that took me goose hunting, and he had made it through Buds, and he is still a active duty SEAL Master Chief now. So I got a big kick out of that early in my SEAL career, doing that for someone, and it just helps out a lot. And in '92, I was approached by a SEAL Master Chief and asked to run a program called Sea Cadets, Navy Sea Cadets. And these guys were Boy Scouts in the Navy. The Army has its versions, Marines have their versions, and the Navy had not had a SEAL one. The guys would go on submarines for 2 weeks every year. They'd go on aircraft carriers. These are young men, and they said, would you be interested in starting the first Sea Cadet SEAL training thing? And I said, sure. So we beat the shit out of these guys for 2 weeks when they came down. Really good, motivated guys. They weren't loitering around 7-Eleven, smoking dope and getting in trouble. They came to that training, and by God, we made it worth their time, too. While it was terribly hard and intense what we were doing with them, work hard, you get a good deal. So do something shitty, you're going to do something good. And we had those guys strapped underneath helicopters on the spy rope. They shot every gun in the arsenal. It was nuts what we were doing with these guys, and it continued on. The guys' success rates that were going through that when they got to Buds was very high, and the Navy said, we'll continue doing that program. Just guys were getting through Buds from it. So a lot of guys did it. I did it, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, 6, 7 times, something like that. And the last one I did was when I was retired. I had come off a trip with Blackwater and got asked to do it, being a retired guy. The SEALs were all so immersed in Iraq and Afghanistan at that time, so I said, sure, I'll do it. And we took them up to Fort Pickett, where no one could hear them scream. And we really had a good time with those guys. In fact, my brother called me after I did after I did one of those courses, and he was a former Army Ranger. He parachuted into Panama, saw the worst of that thing, the only one in the family with a combat jump, and I've got a huge military family. And he calls me on the phone. He's a Secret Service agent, and as soon as I pick up the phone, he goes, "Hey, did you shoot a bunch of deer for some kids during a training thing?" I went, no, it wasn't me, Why? And he goes, there's some woman that works here, and she was just on a roll about this SEAL named Shipley that had shot a bunch of deer for some of these young guys through their training. And, what had happened was the Sea Cadets ran out of money. They didn't have anything, and rather than, stop the training, they didn't have enough money to continue to eat. Got a few deers, taught him some survival stuff out of it, and we ate venison 3 times a day and finished that training. So very cool. And what we have tonight is a guy that went through that course is graduating. Has graduated, buds, about an hour and a half ago. And one of the guys that went through our 3rd course that we run down here, the June course in 2008, has graduated. So, we're just elated. 2 of them.
Got him through.
Yeah, got him. So, plenty of guys over all those years. You just show guys. The more, knowledge is power, dudes. The more you know about what you're getting into, the better off you're going to be. And this guy that we're going to talk to here in a little while, his last mistake he made was the day he left here. He did a really good job. This is a really strong, really good-looking guy. He did a great job down here, and he made one mistake at the very end, and it benefited him to extremes. And what he did was the guys finished up training here on Saturday, and I would take them to the airport. Well, Knucklehead made his reservations for this on Sunday, so he didn't have a flight out. So I drop all the guys off at the airport after training, and I take him to a hotel that's close by the airport. So it's a flea bag hotel, cheap thing, and I drop him off, and I haul ass home. And I take a shower, I get cleaned up, I get my wife, we get all dressed up, because that Saturday was June 28th, 2008, the anniversary of Operation Red Wing, where 11 SEALs died, and we were having a 3rd anniversary memorial service up at Little Creek. And so as I'm dressing, doing all this, I asked Diane, I said, man, I can't leave that kid stuck up there. I gave him a call, and I said, hey, you want to go to this memorial service with us? And, bam, he was up. He was all up for that shit. So we picked him up and took him on to the amphib base at Little Creek. Showed him all the SEAL teams. How cool is that? Wow, that's a frickin' team. Drove him all over, showed him all the training areas, and then we took him to the park where the memorial service was going to go on for these guys. Tank tops and flip-flops. Keg of beer, barbecue. It was the wives, it was the widows, it was guys that were on the rescue mission. It was just a pile of SEALs there, just a small group, and just there for a day of remembrance. Wasn't any big hoopla. We do it every year. And I introduced that guy to a couple of SEALs, and that's the last I saw him. Those guys, SEALs, just really like teaching, really like encouraging, really like motivating. And they took him. So we didn't hear much out of him for the rest of it. And at the end, took him on back to his hotel. So lots of encouragement, lots of praise, lots of last minute training tips. Go get them. Get it done. Good luck. See you in the teams. By God, he graduated today. So what a badass. June 28th. Yeah, take a lot of pride. Now, this guy is fresh, and we're going to try to talk to a couple officers next week that are gone through. A lot of you guys have so many questions about the competitiveness, Naval Academy, Officer Candidate School, all that kind of stuff, and we'll get it done with these guys. So, continuing on with all the different kinds of SEALs we get down here and all the other crazy shit that goes on. But this is really a big one for you guys. This dude is still shitting Bud's chow. He just finished, and what a rock star he is to let you guys know what his weak points were, and how cool. So guy's on his way to jump school, and he's going to have a very cold trip to Alaska for SQT.
SQT,
yeah, man, nothing like Kodiak in the winter.
But he's there. He made it.
Yeah, Kodiak's a harsh place.
Yeah,
it's there's 2 different kinds of cold, and I've been in both. You got a wet cold and you got a dry cold. Dry cold is much easier to deal with when it rains and begins to freeze. And oh, dude, man, wet cold is just terrible up there. Snow, rain. All right, let's get this badass on the phone and we'll get this thing done, man. Hang on, boys. Here we go. A lot of family and friends. A lot's going on. We'll give it a try here.
Hello?
What's going on, badass?
Not too much. How you doing, Sydney?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, son. I'm doing fine. Kicking ass, and I'm very proud of you. I'm sitting with a retired SEAL buddy of mine that helps us down running the courses. Retired SEAL Chief Rick Fucciarelli, and got a good bunch of guys on here jacked up to hear some of your stuff, man. So congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's a pretty cool day out here.
Hey, welcome aboard there, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, good job, man. I've felt like last night when I was talking to you that I was right back there, doing my own graduation. So how cool is that? And I'm referring to you tonight now that you're through that, graduated, as Mr. Green. I put all the active guys under those types of names, but do you have any idea why I'm calling you Mr. Green instead of Mr. Black or Mr. Red?
Actually, I have no idea.
Because you're a new guy.
You're a new guy! But good for you, man. We all started out that way. Can you... How I got you on is a speakerphone, and these guys can hear you talk out there. Do you? What'd you do for background when you were in high school? Did you play any sports, bro?
Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of baseball, football. Then when I got to college, I started. I played a lot. I was always big into contact sports.
Try something. You're breaking up just a little bit.
When I was in high school, I played a lot of baseball and then once I got to college, I decided to play rugby.
Good deal, man. I'm going to check this phone thing one more time. So I was looking over, going through this lengthy huge pile of email, and I found the initial email that you sent to me in January of 2008. And all it said was, saw you on NavySEAL.com, and that was it. So I guess we communicated, but I got your final email. The last one I got from you said that you're enlisted, qualified, and waiting for your contract to come back. Looking forward to coming down here for New Year's night for that. A little bit of extra suck. And shit, man, next thing I know, you're out there getting it done. So how was it?
How was it for me just getting ready for Extreme SEAL experience?
Well, just the buds thing, but yeah, you got it done down here, man. We had I was telling the guys about you screwing up your plane tickets and staying an extra day and going to the memorial service. That was pretty cool.
That was amazing. That was actually one of the most eye-opening things for me, just being able to see the community. And it's Ross State, just being able to see a whole bunch of team guys getting together, drinking beer, and I don't know, just really enjoying themselves in each other's company. That was, it was mind-blowing for me. It was incredible.
Yeah, I didn't see much of you that day after we dropped you off. I saw you being hauled away by a couple of big burly SEALs, and you just fit in well, man. You had that look. And those guys certainly recognized it. And I think it helped a lot hanging out with those dudes and getting a little bit of well-wishing before you went out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just, like I said, one of those things, just seeing what's out there and having a chance just to be exposed for just a little bit, just, I don't know, makes you hungry.
So you went to boot camp, and what happened after that?
Pretty much the way it's going on right now, as far as it was for me. I went to boot camp in January. You go to boot camp. you're pretty much they're putting everybody in what's called special ops divisions. 800 divisions is what they're called now. You do a lot of morning PTs with some SEAL motivators there. They're actually instructors. They are SEALs. During boot camp, you do a lot of running, a lot of swimming. After you graduate boot camp, you get sent to what's called Buds Prep, which is it's in Great Lakes. It's not on the same base. It's actually right across the street. You have a little bit more freedoms. You know, you're able to go out on the weekends, stuff like that. But the training is more intense. It's actually, I think it's a pretty good program because it's designed just to make everybody well-rounded athletes. You do a lot of swimming, a lot of dynamic workouts with like lifting weights or cross training, things like that. And then you do a lot of sprinting as well as long distance running. And then from Buds Prep, you have to take what's called an exit standards test, which is pretty much you do 1,000-yard swim. Let's see, I think it's 80 push-ups, 80 sit-ups, and 10 pull-ups, 10 dead hang pull-ups, and then a 4-mile run in under 30 minutes. After you pass that, you get shipped out to San Diego, where you start NDOC.
So great, man. How was now when you were at in prep? Did you lose many guys just in prep after boot camp?
The thing that I saw the biggest, I don't want to say attrition, but the biggest drop for was guys were getting hurt, especially the guys who hadn't done very much running before then, because we were really starting to up the miles, and guys were getting shin splints and stress fractures. So on the same token, it's I don't know. It's easier for us. It was easier for guys to be brought along with swimming than it was for running. And I don't know. Other than that, it was just mainly designed to get everybody in shape. It wasn't really designed to make people drop.
Yeah, we've heard of the guys dropping there or quitting even in just that before they even got out there. Yeah, good for you, man. How was NDOC?
NDOC was I want to say it's pretty much first phase cut in half. They're pretty much half days that you're usually done with all your physical evolutions by lunch. You get a good introduction to some of the things like drown proofing. They're doing more 4-mile runs. The time standards aren't as bad. I think they're 33 minutes is what you have to do your 4-mile runs under. And for the swims, it's just 1.5 mile ocean swims. And I think you only have to. I think you only need to pass 2 swims, 2 runs, and you also get an O course in dock. You don't have to pass the first couple times. It's mainly set up so that you learn how to do it and then to get better at it.
So, how did the NDOC go with a lot of guys? Have problems out there with a bunch?
No, not so much. In fact, I think NDOC was probably the biggest deception that most guys had. I think they thought they were, ahead of the power curve, and then when we got to first phase, they thought they were sitting pretty, and they fucking amped it up on us and kicked us in the nuts. I think it shocked a lot of guys. When we're doing, instead of log PT for 15 minutes, now we're doing it for an hour and a half. And for a lot of guys, that was just too. I mean, that was enough for them. It was just time to throw it in.
And that was in NDOC?
Yeah, that was an NDOC.
How many guys did you lose?
In NDOC, well, and like I said, that's right. I think the biggest deception came after NDOC. Lost, I think 10 guys in NDOC, and then I think, like you said, for the most people were just fooling themselves as to feeling ready, or like I said, ahead of the power curve as far as first phase was concerned.
Got that little bit of confidence boost in there, that false sense of security, and then reality sets in when the clock strikes first phase has started, right?
Exactly. When they start getting you wet about every 20 minutes, it's, I don't know, you're pushing guys to muscle failure for every evolution. Like I said, with in-doc, the important thing to remember is it's just a taste of first phase. They're all half days. It's really, you get a lot of recovery time and a lot of time to get your squared away for the next day. In first phase, you don't have that time, so you end up staying up later, getting your stuff ready for inspections or for swims, things like that. And it's just a higher level of intensity.
So, how many guys started with your in-doc thing? You had some laser surgery that I understand they don't do anymore, guys in there.
Yeah, I think that the way it works is I'm not even sure. I know that started in-doc at about, pretty sure it was about 170 or 175. And, 175, 278 originals. Yeah, that's what we start off in-doc with. And I think we ended up with 40. They graduated today.
So, what went on in first phase, man? What was the obviously hell week? But talk us through a little bit of first phase, man. And you throw in those tips for these guys. What guys were weak at out there. Whatever you want, bro.
All right, good deal. Biggest thing I found about first phase. First of all, the first day is going to be a kick in the dick. It's going to be an eye opener. They're going to mess with you, whatever, swallow it. Just I don't know, take it in stride. That's what first phase is for. They're there to find out who wants to be there. We didn't lose anybody the first 3 days of first phase, actually. I'm sorry, we didn't lose anybody the first 2 days. We had a lot of quitters. I think we lost 20 guys on the third day. I think we had logs and boats.
20 guys on the third day?
Yeah, we lost about, I think it was 18 guys on the third day, which would have been the first Wednesday of first phase. To touch note on that, you have a chance to see the schedule for the week ahead of time. Prepare yourself mentally and physically for the fucking rough days. When you know that you've got logs and boats, the next day get to sleep as early as you can. Get a good meal. Eat a little bit of extra food. But for the most part, tell yourself in your head it's going to be a rough day tomorrow. But fuck it. It's not that big of a deal. In all honesty, it's just games, and it's just hanging out with your buds.
Rick and I have seen, and everybody else that's gone through that training is, when guys start quitting in those numbers, oftentimes it comes from a guy that is very respected in the class that drops, and a lot of other dudes will follow him. If he can't do it, I can't do it. So when you had that mass exit on that third day, was that caused by any real strong guy in the class dropping?
See, now that didn't happen so much in our class, but it happened to the class prior to us. When younger guys see a lot of petty officers quit, I think it's like you said, they see that and they go, wow, if he can't make it, then man, how am I going to do it? Honestly, the only thing that I did is, it just kind of pissed me off because I lost a lot of friends that way. And it's like, what the fuck, man? You feel kind of, I don't want to say betrayed, but you feel left behind. But for the most part, and this is one thing that one of our instructors in Buds Prep told us. He said that every time somebody quits, whether it be in first phase or even in second phase, because every once in a while you get a guy quit for whatever reason in second phase, but you look at him and you go, I'm harder than that guy, or just say, I'm stronger, I'm tougher. It's one more guy that you're stronger than, and pretty soon it's a lot of dudes. And you start to get that self-confidence. I won't say bad self-confidence because you should never have very much in phase at all. But you should know that you should know that your body can handle it. You can take it.
There you go, man. Awesome. So, Hell Week. Hell Week. We're in first phase. Did you want to say anything about your drown proofing or anything?
Yeah, honestly, there's not too much about drown proofing. Or I know one thing that I thought about a lot before I got in was the 50 meter underwater swim. Just to touch base on both those real quick, the 50 meter underwater swim, pretty much you all line up on the pool deck, you jump in, you do a front flip underwater, and then you start swimming towards the other side. You're swimming from the width of the pool. So the big thing to remember is that the first leg of the 50 meter underwater swim will take twice as long as the second leg, because on that second leg, when you touch the wall, you can push off. So just by pushing off that wall, you can get about 10 meters of a good solid glide underwater. So it pretty much takes you halfway just off of one leg push, and the rest of it's just gliding. The important thing to remember for the underwater swim is you want to get deeper. The deeper you can get, the better, because the pressure of the water will actually squeeze on your chest. It'll squeeze on your entire body, but on your chest, your lungs will have to work. It won't have to work as hard to push oxygen into your bloodstream, so you won't feel out of breath as quickly, which, it helped a lot of guys deal with panic. For drown proofing, the only thing I love drown proofing because every day we practiced at the pool, the only thing you have to remember is that it's not logs and it's not boats. You're fucking playing in the pool, and you can't hear the instructors underwater. The only thing you need to remember is...
That's a good one.
That's good. That's original, man. We've never heard that. You can't hear the instructors underwater. Yeah, that's a good one, dude.
Good on you, buddy.
How many guys did you lose during that?
I'd say we lost about 10 guys to drown proofing. Some of the guys, the biggest thing that they have trouble with is floating, which is just, most of the guys don't really need to worry about it now, just because you'll all have plenty of chance and plenty of time to work on your techniques and kind of get comfortable in the water. Make sure if anybody out there wants to practice it, they're not lashing themselves together with a buddy in the pool, because I'll just freak people out. The other thing you really need to know is start experimenting with dolphin kicking and just kind of trying to let your chest float in the water. It's going to be weird and it's going to take a little while, but like I said, don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to work on your technique.
Yeah, well, that's a misconception out there, and a lot of guys, start practicing all this breath holding and drown proofing. They see it on the videos, and that shit's dangerous to begin with, but it's not necessary. The instructors out there teach you, and just like you were talking, you get time to practice this stuff, to work up to the actual test itself, and guys out there trying all this crazy breath holding shit in pools, it's just kind of wrong. What do you got to say?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Like I said before, you're actually going to start working on this in Bud's prep, and the people who are going to teach you this aren't even instructors. They're civilian coaches, and they work with you. They pretty much, bring you the basic method behind the madness in Buds is crawl, walk, run. And that's how they bring you to speed in drown proofing. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to teach you the techniques. Then they're just going to introduce it to you in the pool, step by step, really calmly, and not try and get you guys flustered. Nobody's going to try and dick with you until about first phase, and that's just because the instructors expect you to know the technique and be comfortable in the water already. Even then, the only time they really yell at you very much is on the actual drown proofing test. So one thing people don't understand is that prior to the drown proofing test, I've already practiced with the instructors about 3 or 4 times in the pool just to get familiar with it and just get familiar with pushing off the bottom. picking up your mask with your teeth. It's honestly, it's not a big deal. I thought it was fun.
You and I were talking last night, and I'm getting ready to hit you up for Hell Week. But you and I share a common experience in that we went to Bud's training with a friend, and it didn't work out very well for me. That fucker left me and quit before Hell Week. And I understand you had a little bit of that going on yourself.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I hate to say it, but I probably still have some animosity, I want to say, but it's the feeling of just getting left behind, because the one thing that you're taught the entire time you're buds is you go everywhere with a buddy. And so when you have a buddy kind of just pack up shit and say he's not feeling very good anymore and he doesn't feel like it, it's a thing to respect, especially during Hell Week. Everybody's feeling the same thing. There was times I tried to take a shit one time in Hell Week, and I had to roll out of the fucking porta potty because my abs kept cramping up and I couldn't even wipe my own ass. It was embarrassing, but it's just an example of some of the stuff that's going to happen to you. Everybody goes through the same thing. The important thing for Hell Week is to be there for each other, because once you all start sharing your common feelings and your common pains, it doesn't make it as bad, because you don't feel as much on an island. You don't feel as much behind the eight ball when you say, wow, his knees are killing him too, or fuck, yeah, he's got a huge blister on his foot. It's something that you all go through together, and it's something that everybody finishes together. And that's what makes it so special.
Yeah, when you bring up animosity all these years later, I'm still pissed off at that sluggo because, the same thing, and we haven't worked this out. He fucking left me. You quit. You piece of shit. What are you doing leaving me here? So, yeah, you'll never forget that, man. It'll piss you off, that buddy system stuff, Damn. So what, hit us with Hell Week, man. How'd all that shit go?
What was that? Sorry, Senior?
Hit us with Hell Week. How'd all that go?
Like I said, Hell Week was it was just one of those deals where you take it one evolution at a time, and the way I kind of looked at it, honestly, the biggest step for me was the first morning. That was the only one that I really remember, because it was a really cool sunrise. It's pretty much just look at it for what it is. It's they're gonna test you. They're gonna keep you awake, and that's honestly the worst part, is being awake for that long. I mean, we've had worse beatings, but I'm just really tired at the end of the week. That's the only real thing that I felt. I mean, it's just a camp out for 5 days with the boys.
Well, I think one thing that we all share, and me and Rick do, and everyone else that has made it through that, was excited to go. We were ready to get it started to do that, and you certainly shared a lot of that last night. That you had a lot of fun in Buds, and even Hell Week. Just fired up. Let's do this thing.
Oh fuck yeah! The worst part of Hell Week was the 3 hours that they make you sit in a tent before breakout. You're just sitting there, you're trying to fucking pack a chew in, you're just like, dude, I'm sick of this shit. Man, when are they going to start it? When are they going to start it? And, it comes eventually, but, that's the whole thing. I still remember the first time we had to hit the surf in first phase was, standing there on the grinder, running out to the beach going, man, I can't believe we're doing this. This is sick. I don't know, it's just, you just got to remember what you're doing. You're doing Navy SEAL training. That's what it is.
Green, you got a funny Hell Week story to tell us?
Yeah, actually I do.
All right. I think we all do, but go ahead.
It was, I forget which day it was. I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday or Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. And we were doing a boat race. It was actually not even quite a race, because we were running at our own speed. But what we had to do was we had to run the O course as a boat crew. And then we had to pick up our boat and run down the Demo Pit Road. Once we ran down there, we had to turn around and come back. But they said we could do it at our own pace. So it was, barely it was barely a walk. It was just a nice, steady stroll, and we got down there, and I am fucking nearly shitting my pants. So I finally, there was one instructor at the turnaround, and I was like, guys, I gotta take a shit. And there wasn't another boat crew within half a mile of us. They're like, all right, yeah, whatever, go ahead and hurry up. It's like, and I walked up to the instructor. He was in one of the trucks, and knocked on the window, and I said, instructor so-and-so, respectfully request permission to take a shit. And he goes, kid, I don't care what the fuck you do, get out of here. And so I ran behind this one berm, took a shit, realized I didn't have anything to wipe with, so I found a fucking plastic McDonald's cup, wiped my ass with it, pulled my pants up, and ran back to the boat.
Oh, got the Hell Week stories, man. You got it done, dude. Oh, how many guys started? How many guys finished?
We actually had a really Hell Week class. We hit a lot of attrition. We started with 101, and we ended with 89, believe it or not.
Wow.
Damn. Good job. Good job. A lot of guys hung in there, man. So you finish all that up. How was Hydro Week?
Oh, Hydro Week. Charts on heads is what we called it. Hydro Week. Yeah, that was. It's a lot of World War II style reconnaissance. It's really learning what SEAL teams are founded off of, which is the historic UDTs. You do a lot of different ops about surveying beaches and the depths of the surf coming into the beach. It's honestly, the instructors give you about a week to recover. They don't make you run everywhere. They don't beat you at all. It's all the PT, stretch PT. Then they start, kind of working you back into things. But for hydro, you, like I said, it's a lot more academic. You're learning how to write charts, how to move in the beach as a squad or a platoon, and how to take depth readings with weight lines. It's pretty fun. It's nice to see the history behind it, but you're going to have some late nights. That's about it. But it's nothing rigorous because once again, it's just the instructor's leaving you alone, saying that this chart better be done and on my desk tomorrow morning. So you all know what you have to do, and you take care of it.
Yeah, I remember that sucking out loud, man. Hydro Hell Week.
Is that after Hell Week still, or?
Yeah, that's it was the second week. The second week after Hell Week.
So it's not directly then.
Yeah, week seven was when we did hydro.
So you got your brown shirt, and you wrap up first phase. You get your brown shirt after you finish Hell Week from a white T-shirt, and you paint that helmet blue, man, from green to blue. How'd that shit feel?
That was a good feeling when we turned over to second phase. It's one of those things. I don't know. I kind of felt all the time is like when I was in Indoc, I just wanted to be in phase. When I got to phase, I just wanted to have a brown shirt. When I wanted a brown shirt, I wanted a blue helmet, and so on and so forth. It was, but that was probably one of my favorite stepping stones was moving from a green helmet to a blue helmet because it's just all of a sudden you're not the new kids on the block. You've cut your teeth in. You've seen a couple things, but once again, you're still not shit. It's I don't know, it's a good feeling though. It's definitely a big step.
Well, when you get through Hell Week and you're able to put on that brown T-shirt, you're treated just a little bit different because now they know you're tough enough to be there. And when you get to second phase, they want to know now if you're smart enough, if you're capable enough to be there. So what went on in second phase?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's honestly, when you get to second phase, I don't want to say you're treated like a white shirt again, but what they want you to realize is that you still haven't done anything, and you still have what's called pool week and pool comp ahead of you. What pool week is a series of underwater tests that you do with the twin 80 tanks. And what some people take for granted is that each of the tests, each of the things that you're going to do in pool week, there are actually 7 different tests. Open circuit is what they're called. Open circuit 1, 2, 3, whatever, are a are part of pool comp, which culminates with Open Circuit 8, OC8. Each of those tools or each of those skill sets that you learn with each of the tests is going to help you with the end result. And what people also underestimate is the importance of practice. You can really help your chances out with pool comp practice, with pool comp if you practice or do what they call dirt diving. It's going to play the biggest part because when you get under the water and you're out of breath, what's going to go back to your mind is your procedures and what you've been practicing. Honestly, that's the most important thing I thought, besides visualization. And all visualization was practicing to me is just practicing without tanks on, or any sort of tanks. And I just did it whenever I had a chance, spare minute. I think, okay, what if I have a viable air source? What am I going to do? And one thing everybody who's listening will learn is that, you're all going to be taught this at some point or another. But composure is the big thing that they're looking for underwater. If the instructors see composure, they're going to know that this guy's practiced, he's confident in what he's doing, he's moving slow and he's moving smooth, he's not going to make mistakes, and they're going to mess with you underwater less. They see somebody who's moving fast and, throwing hoses around, jerky motions, they're going to say, this guy's not out of air, let's see if we can't get him to bolt to the surface. And so that's when you're going to see a lot of problems.
All confidence, if you're that confident guy that doesn't shake, rattle very easily, that's what they're looking for. SEALs don't freak out about things. You just got to remain calm. So, the guys that are underwater doing this shit with their eyes as big as dinner plates and they're freaking hyperventilating and screwing around. Yeah, it goes bad, don't it?
Instructors look for the weak link, don't they?
Yep. They're like, they fucking smell blood.
Oh yeah, they get jacked up out there real quick. We had that term as well. They smell blood. Here we go. So, how did all that work out for you?
I failed my first two pool comp tests. It wasn't about procedure. It wasn't about composure for me. I kept doing. I made two small errors, just procedures. I skipped a step in procedure, and on the third time I passed, no problem. I was never honestly out of breath during the entire time. Felt good. It's like I said, the most important thing, if I could go back and do it again, is just calm down and practice. Just practice every type of different situation you can think of, and it'll make it just fine. The instructors aren't looking to fail people right away. They just have a set standard of the way they're going to test people. The only problem is that the students think the instructors are going to be tested, or going to test them one way, and when they jump in the water and it's suddenly different than the way they think or the way they thought it was, they start freaking out, and that's when you see a lot of people get panicky, jerky motions, stuff like that. It was like I said, I passed my third try, no problem. It's just procedures. It's really simple.
So how many guys did you lose?
During that, they axed about, I think it was like some guy.
How many?
35 guys.
35?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, easy day. But once you get that stuff done, my memories of second phase were just ones of utter exhaustion. It was almost I thought it was a lot worse than first because of all the diving and all the studying and the classroom. It was just a bitch. How was it?
Yeah, that's one thing that they do as well is they start amping up the studies, the academics. You have to learn some dive physics, and then you're gonna spend a lot of time in the classroom on that. You're gonna drink a lot of coffee. You're gonna chew a lot of snuff, but it all helps you stay awake. The other thing that you start doing too after pool comp, after the guys who graduate pool comp, you'll start doing Draeger dives, and those are the ones that really keep you up late because you're responsible for a lot of gear, a lot of really sensitive gear that can't rust. You got to keep water out of air hoses, stuff like that, and almost every day good is it's better than fucking boats on heads, man. It's we're not running around with a boat on our noggin.
You know, Green, you bring up a good point there about you got it on your third time. I saw a lot of guys fall apart. They failed in evolution, or they messed up on something and they fell apart from there. And my hat's off to you. Awesome for getting through on your third time. Can you comment on that for when things go bad? Just keep on getting it.
Well, the thing I always said, and I think it's held true till the end, is that it is what it is, and the only way I really coped with it is I was just like, okay, the only way I'm going to do this justice is if I fucking learn from what I did wrong.
Awesome.
And so I just isolated what I did wrong with the procedures. I said, okay, it wasn't because I was out of breath. It wasn't because I didn't know what was going on. It was just I was getting ahead of myself and I was moving too fast because I thought I was a little more confident than I was. I thought I knew stuff. I thought I knew it pat. And really, I didn't quite know it as well as I should have. And so I just went basics. I said, okay, if this happens, this is the first thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to do this. And, I wouldn't do anything before I mentally thought about it. And once you slow things down, the other thing it does is it calms your body down. Your heart's not beating as fast. You're just moving nice and slow, and you know exactly what's going on the entire time that you're doing it.
Yeah, too many guys lose focus out there, especially when the pressure's on, is really where they want to, they're looking for that performance, you fuck it up, now are you able to recover from that? Or are you going to dwell on it and, just make a mess of yourself even more, Pick yourself back up and roll with it, man. Roll. Don't lose the bubble.
Yeah, and I think that's what, in the teams, and I'm sure, Green, you'll see that once you get in the teams, is what makes a good frog man is screwing up. Yeah. Period.
So learn from your mistakes, and we make plenty of them. I'm sure as hell do. Talk about what it's like to get underneath one of those big dark ships at night with that dragger on.
Actually, that was the one thing, Senior, that I was pretty disappointed. We never got a chance to swim under boats. The one thing we did do once we got to our FTX was swimming under piers and docks. Swimming with the dragger is actually pretty fucking cool. The worst part about dragger is dive inspections before you hit the water, but once you get in the water, it's actually surprising how efficient the rig is. It's it works really well, works really smooth, and if you put it together right, it'll last you for a long time. And it's really amazing to just kind of go and just do it like an emergency descent, slide underneath the water, and not make any bubbles, and realize you're just fucking sneaking up on something, planting a mine, and then sneaking out. It was that was pretty cool for me, the FTX especially.
Yeah. Now, just tell the guys the Dragger LAR-5 that we dive as SEALs is a oxygen rig, and it rebreathes, it purges out the CO2 that you expel, and it's a bubbleless rig. It doesn't make any bubbles, and very cool to sneak up and welcome the teams, because you're going to attack some ships when you get there. And 3,000 meter dives, oh Lord, we'd spend hours. 3,000 meter double night ship attack. Lay those mines, man. So good for you, man. Anything else about second phase?
Oh no, that's about it. Honestly, once you get to Dragger, you pretty much know the gist of things. The instructors, they know that you're pretty much there to stay. So once again, though, you got to keep it locked on. Show the instructors their respects. Call them out when they're coming on and off the grinder. Don't forget the basics. Going everywhere with a buddy. And don't forget that you're still just in second phase and you're still just a bud student, because you can save yourself some serious beatdowns if you just remember who you are, and that once again you haven't done that much. But other than that, it can be a really fun phase. It can be really a good time.
Yeah, and you're going right back into it, as all of us did again. Fucking had a great time at Bud's. You were with these guys that you share so much in common with. You suffer so many hardships with them. And if you can't see the humor in things, if you're not having fun in SEAL training, in SEAL school, damn, well, you don't last long, that's for damn sure. But the ones that do, man, we had a rocking time.
Yeah, like I said, it's one thing is that even you really have to find humor in some of the beatings you take, because you can tell that the instructors put some serious thought into it. You honestly, you want to say, like, I remember one time we got beat in second phase, back, and they called us out, or the instructors called us to the grinder. Everybody on your dots. That's when you know you're in deep shit. You're like, fuck, here it comes. Like, okay, everybody take your wetsuits off. It's like, all right, okay, what's this? What's going on? And everybody went in sandy 2 minutes. So, you're under the serve, you're on the sand, you're like, what the fuck, what are we doing? We don't, we should be done by, we're done for the day. It's chow time. You come back, all right, everybody put your wetsuits back on. You're like, touche. That's, I didn't see that one coming. So then you start doing 8 counts with a nice layer of wet and sandy between your skin and 3 mil rubber. So it's you break pretty good sweat, but at the end of the day, you just rinse it off. It's just sand.
Did you guys get to spin the wheel of misfortune?
First on the wheel. I wasn't there anymore, and was the the old carnival strongest man thing, but we never even hit that either with the sledgehammer. I think we actually they tried to put more curriculum into the schedule than was needed. I honestly, I don't know, but we never did spin a wheel or choose our punishment.
They're getting too
soft.
Figuring out trying that new curriculum thing, and staying flexible with what goes on in Iraq and Afghanistan, make it more productive. So the only thing better than painting your helmet from green to blue is painting that motherfucker from blue to red. How'd that go?
Well, actually, the way they do it now, seniors, they actually, and I know you guys are probably going to hate this too, but they actually they issue helmets, actually green plastic helmets, and then blue plastic helmets, and then red plastic helmets.
You got the damn thing, and a pretty cool feeling being able to walk around with that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty. I remember when they, you open up your red helmet, like, fuck, is this for real? We're gonna go start really doing this, blowing shit up. It's really a good feeling because you just feel like you can do credit. The instructors will pay you more respect, and you really start learning the meat and potatoes of what you're going to be doing, and it's a really exciting time.
So how'd third phase go for you overall, man? That's the fun stuff, really. Everything's great, but man, you gotta love shooting and blowing stuff up.
Oh yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. And the one thing that it's when you go out to the island, it's a lot of work. You're looking at 18, 20-hour days, and sometimes it's minimal sleep. But you got to remember that's it's probably the way it's going to be in the future, and it's probably going to be that way a lot. But the other thing is you got to remember still what you're doing. You'll be in there bitching. You're like, oh man, this 48 is so fucking dirty, and you're like, wait, it's dirty, and I'm having to clean it because I just shot 400 rounds through it. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And so, I don't know, you just gotta, once again, you just gotta remind yourself that, some things can be shitty, but it's worth the reward. You get to learn a lot of really cool stuff. Learning about charges, learning how to shoot a rifle, learning how to shoot a 48, an automatic rifle, learning raids, immediate action drills, IMTs, learning all this really cool job applicable stuff, and then, starting to compete with other squads saying, oh, fuck, yeah, we're so much better at raids than you guys are. We're on target and off target in half the time that you are. It's just, if you really want to see your class come together, it happens at the island more than anything because it's so elevated and it's so intense.
When did you lose your last guy?
We actually lost our last guy in third phase. He problems with the pistol, and he was a guy that'd been sneaking through. He was in the bottom 5 for every phase, and when he went back, he failed pistol qual, and when they went back, on the ARB, they decided to go ahead and drop him. But that was the last time we saw him or talked to him. He was one of the guys that kind of like truly was sliding by.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll get you one way or another, man. It's only a matter of time, and you still got SQT to look forward to. You know, the real cleanup shot. Excellent, man. Excellent. So, what? A lot of the guys are interested in what you did prior to going to Buds, training-wise.
Well, the first thing is I did probably what almost everybody out there does, which is buy the Stu Smith book. It did a really good job. The one thing that I did probably the most of is I did a ton of push-ups. I tried to do as many different kind of push-up workouts as I could, and I also really tried to bring my pull-ups along because one thing that pull-ups do help out with is swimming, because you get a stronger pull in the water. One thing that I would recommend to people, just because I saw a lot of really good guys have problems with this, is I'd recommend getting your legs strong and getting your bones strong before you take off, ship out anywhere. The guys, for the most part that I saw, we had a lot of guys starting to break down in Bud's prep, mainly because they hadn't done a lot of distance running. They were some of the best swimmers in the class, and their chins were breaking down because they hadn't put on serious miles. They were, it's the first time they'd ever run 4 miles, 2 days in a row, and they were just having trouble. So that's the one thing is I'd say, do a lot of running, space your running out well, figure out a good run workout, so you're not running, 24 miles a day, but you're running, 6 miles one day, then maybe a sprint workout the next day, and maybe say like a nice, timed 4-mile run the day after, but always keep it mixing up, and but the one thing is definitely get your legs strong, because that's the one thing that you do a lot of, just running with one thing or another, whether it's a boat or a log, or if it's just for a 4-mile timed run.
I've caught a lot of flack in the past because I push running so hard, and I feel that a lot of guys that go to Buds take it easy on themselves. I've seen that bullshit out there, these horse dick coaching tips from guys who have never been to Buds, telling these guys, don't run too much, run every other day and all that bullshit. And, they only go to Buds, they haven't pushed it like you're talking about, and they fail. And they failed because they are babying themselves because they don't want to get injured before Buds. And they only find out in Buds that was a huge mistake, that I should have stretched it. I should have done a lot more running, a lot of distance. I should have punished myself. Kind of along those lines?
Well, fuck yeah. It's one of those deals where you're never really gonna find out exactly how far you can go until you get to Buds, but you can at least get an idea. One of the things that I really wanted to try and do is, I ended up running a half marathon before I left, which was a big step for me. It was, I was like, wow, that was a pretty big deal, because I remember when I used to be in high school and I was bitching about having to run like 1.5 miles or 2 miles for baseball. And now, I just got done running 12.5. The one thing is that you have to push yourself each time. And people who are worried about their bodies breaking down before Buds, one person can't push themselves to the point where their body will break down to that degree. So you don't have to worry about that. You need to push yourself as far as you can physically push yourself, and let your body recover. Give your body maybe a week after the hardest workout that you've ever put yourself through. If you give yourself 5 solid days of recovery, you're going to come back way stronger than you think. The other thing too is that you're actually going to start to acclimate your body to a higher workload, which will pay off once you get to Buds, because your muscles will recover faster and on less rest.
Green, can you comment? I'll try not to coerce your answer, but I remember when I went to training, we had a lot of guys who trained, for lack of a better word, stupidly, to go to buds, such as surf torturing themselves, hopping in cold water for periods of time. Can you comment on that as far as the, again, I'm not trying to preempt your comment, but on the worthlessness of that, vice the, doing legitimate running and legitimate weightlifting and stuff like that. Can you comment on that at all?
Yeah, I'd actually love to. This is one of the, and this actually takes me back to one of the things that one of the instructors told us right before we graduated from basic, when we asked him the same question about training. He said, do you think, banging your head against a concrete wall would make you any more ready to have a car accident? It's about the same gist of things. It's going to be the toughest thing you've ever experienced. And by running your body through, like, serious stresses, like, cold water, conditioning, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Thank you.
It's retarded. People say, oh, I want to, know what it feels like to be cold and, how to deal with it. The only thing you really need to know about, if you've been cold, I don't really know how to describe it. You're going to be colder. So don't try and push yourself to that degree, because I promise you, you cannot stay in the water longer than the instructors can keep you in the water. And they're going to push you to the limit that you're actually physically capable of, which is way further than you think you can. So doing things like cold water conditioning, don't do shit like that unless you're doing it to ice down an ankle. Just train yourself like you would train a professional athlete. Do smart things, have a smart diet, give yourself rest. You want to be in the best physical shape that you can be before you go there, because you're going to be really broken down and you're going to have nothing but less rest as you move on.
There you go, man.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. And, and it's important, with what we do, or just talking about this right now, that guys are getting it. They're hearing it. But, there's a lot of confusion out there as to what to do. Nobody knows. And, even you did not know how you were going to do until you get out there. Me and Rick didn't. You just hope for the best. You hope you're ready. But there's just no real guidelines or anything. And guys get out there, and day one, you figure it out if you're ready or not. You're either really, really happy on day one, or you're really, really sad. And I think the three of us sitting here and talking to you were really, really happy on day one that we worked that fucking hard to get in there.
How do you feel now, buddy?
Fucking on top of the world. It's one of those things where, you tell yourself the whole time you're in buds, especially in the worst parts, when you're the most tired, the most broke down, you're like, it'll be worth it in the end. And honestly, it was worth everything fucking time and time again. It was absolutely worth it. It's such a reward just to know that you pushed yourself to this point and to be able to further yourself and step to the next level. I can only hope to learn as much in SQT and whatever the future training might be as I have learned so far. The training truly is world class. That's one thing people think the instructors are just kicking the shit out of you, but they're actually teaching you way more than you can imagine. Until you actually start talking about your training with somebody who's not in the community, they're like, whoa, slow down. What are you talking about? What is this immediate action drill stuff? You're like, oh no, it's when you're shooting and moving. You're like, whoa, yeah. I just spent 2 weeks shooting live rounds, running around fucking like a circus. It's one thing you learn to get comfortable with, because that's what the training teaches you, and it's awesome.
Well, dude, enjoy that day, man. It's your day, and hats off to you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Now, I got to talk to you about one more thing before you shove off and get back to your family, because I appreciate the amount of time you're taking. What the fuck happened down here that gave you a hand out there?
Honestly, my favorite part, the whole night. It actually gave me the best insight. It gave me the best confidence booster, but it also gave me the best game plan, and I'll explain that in both those in a second. the thing I really liked about that Extreme SEAL experience is you get a taste of so many different parts of what you're going to be doing. And what was cool about our island trip, and Senior, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in a second, is we had a chance to do Helo casting with some Black Hawk pilots. And everybody's like, oh, fuck, dude, that's so sweet. I was like, fuck, bro, I've already done that.
I've already done that. That's very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a good time. But now getting back to Hell Night, one thing is you pretty much get a taste. There's nothing in Hell Week, I want to say, besides the real physical breakdowns that you see towards the end of the week. That you don't see anything that you haven't seen, that you didn't see during the Extreme SEAL experience for Hell Night. You do boats on heads, you rocking chairs, you do logs, you surf torture. It really it gives you a taste of everything that you need to know how to deal with, and it really teaches you the humor behind it. You get tired, and you wake each other up, and you push past it, just like you do in Hell Week. The only difference is that for this, you do it for one night. For Hell Week, you do it for 4 nights.
Yeah, I told you guys, guys that can get through, Hell Night here can get through it there. You just got to be in much better physical shape, but a lot of that's attitude. You're ready for it. You want it. So excellent, man. We had a good time with your class down here.
It was an awesome time. I was sad to go.
Still stay in touch with a few of the guys?
I stayed in touch with a couple of them a little bit. Obviously, I've been pretty busy right now. I'd like to drop a lot of it, or definitely a few of them a line, especially I know there's a couple of really, really good guys that I think would really excel in buds. So I'm going to definitely drop them a line, see if we can't, get them fucking signed up and moving out here pretty soon.
Get them out there. Get a gun, man. Get it done. So, a kick-ass job down here. And, it was my pleasure taking you up to that memorial service. And, damn, proud of you. Excellent job.
Dude, welcome to the team, man.
Welcome to the goddamn SEAL teams, Awesome. So, on your way to, SQT and then sign to a team. And you stay in touch and let me know, man.
Do you got orders yet?
Couldn't have done without you.
Yeah. Do you got orders yet?
No, we're not. We don't have orders yet. I guess we're not going to get them until about mid SQT because they're waiting to see, what the people who get injured or whatnot during jump school.
No idea east or west or any of that.
Nope. I know. I thought we were going to hear at the end of third phase, and we just found out that we're not going to find out for a couple more weeks. So it's like but I'm happy to be here.
And everybody wants to go east, right?
Everybody wants to go east.
There you go. Go to the East Coast. Well, I tell you, I know you got your family out there with you, and a very pretty young lady. And good luck. You guys getting all hitched up, and give me a call anytime, bro. Look forward to getting you out here, and throw on some camis and come down here and help me run these courses for shit's sakes.
Heck yeah, Senior. I've been thinking about that shit too. I was like, man, I can't wait till the day when I can drop in there and send some kids down into the water.
I tell you, man, I take a lot of pride in being the first guy that will not identify you and go with that Mr. Green. So get used to it. The bit of the cloak and dagger stuff going on. And welcome to the team, man. Get that machine gun. Go over there and do some good. Go kick some ass.
Thanks, Senior. Will do.
Welcome, dude.
You're a badass. I'll talk to you soon, man.
I will. See you soon, Senior.
Thanks, bro. Bye.
Cool.
Very cool. Very tough.
Yeah.
Guy, so
good head on his shoulders too, man.
It pumps us up because we're just listening to this stuff again, going, God damn it.
It reminds you, don't it?
No, yeah.
Damn, it brings us back in time.
Just get you pumped up, I wouldn't want to spend 30 seconds in buds, but boy, I don't regret a minute of it.
Boy, but you don't want to, but you'd go back in a minute.
If you could do it all over again, damn. And out there and do it again, but boy, what good days those were.
Yeah.
And the best part of buds, is getting out of buds, honestly. So your graduation, I remember when I was just before I was going to buds, my wife and I were driving down the a road in San Diego, and there was a pickup truck with a bunch of guys in the back of it, these big dudes, and there was a banner they were towing, and it said, "I'm a fucking SEAL," and they had just graduated buds, man, and they were burning the town down. So and then we'd go to jump school and burnt that place to the ground. So these guys are so jacked up today. That's such a big deal.
Oh, I don't think you're on top of the world too many more times in your life.
No, you're not, man. It's
there's a few,
hard
but
thing
not
to
many.
beat. Is being told you're done, secure from buds, man.
Yep.
It's over.
That guy's, God, what a feeling.
Oh, dude, man, awesome.
He's the toughest man in the world right now.
Yeah, he's right there. Welcome to the club, man. And a lot of very tough times ahead of him. Man, that's the pucker factor that's going to go on. That guy, just getting through buds, has not seen anything. And when you walk through the door of that team for your first time, it is just a huge wake-up call of, wow.
You remember that article, Toughest Men in the World?
You guys, this went on. So what people don't know outside the, civilian world and everything else, when you walk through those doors, you're just, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know SEALs did this. I was not expecting this. So it's just one surprise after another, and it's a wake-up call. And then you're jacked up. He's going to get on that helicopter, hand me a weapon, and let's go whack some bad guys.
But I think I've heard friends of mine talk about, friends of mine who play professional sports, about walking into the professional sports realm, and I don't think it equals walking into the teams.
No.
I just don't.
No, that place is a wake-up call. There's a lot of hard dudes up there.
Yep.
You're intimidated.
You're in the big leagues now.
Like, oh, shit. Everybody knows who you are. You just don't know who anybody
You're
else is.
You're the little guy in the big block.
Oh, dude, man. Yeah.